Yo, come on in there, everybody. Come on in there, everybody, and have a seat. Pull up with us. It's the crew from Studio 5, the Just North Sports Show. How we get down. Audio available every Friday night, 8 p.m. Anchor, FM, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. All that good jazz. Got Dr. Producer, DJ King Dre with the Ultimate Warrior background going on. Juice Man the Boogie with the highlights and the clips and the reels. M Greasy the Don. Big E jumping back in this thing always. Usual suspects. He doing us a solid. So we're gonna get this thing right on cracking. Tom Brady retired today.
Yep. Is it officially over?
That's the real question. We've seen this story before.
Yeah, is it officially over? I feel like him and Aaron Rodgers be trading off every offseason.
We'll find out when the OTAs are over with. All that extra stuff.
Nah, man, but it's a great thing for the game, man. What he brought to the table and contributed. He is the GOAT, in my opinion, from the QB standpoint. I can see him still making a comeback. I think it's just in him, but maybe this time. So,
man, I'm gonna say it like this: Tom Brady needs to sit his old ass down somewhere. It's a wrap. Sit down, move on out the way, man. Quit holding people hostage, bro. He better sit down for the game, lay him down. That's all I'm gonna say. He better sit down for the game, lay him down. He can walk away. He can walk away with the use of his limbs. He ain't got no broken legs, no. You know what I'm saying? He's mobile. Go on, take your L. The Cowboys knocked him out. That's what you want to say, Big E. Y'all knocked him out. Y'all sat him down, sent him to retirement.
Yep.
But yeah, it's time for him to go, man. It's about time, man.
I mean, my thing is, though, I think there's one or two spots that he could probably contribute for one more year if it push come to shove. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's some greatness that you see when you get Tom Brady on the field, even though this year didn't turn out the way it was. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, it didn't end that way these last couple of games, but he didn't have a lot.
Last 2 seasons.
But he didn't have a lot around him either, though. So, as far as there was a lot of injuries, there was the coaching differences and things of that nature, switching from Bruce Arians to Todd Bowles. So, I mean, we talking
about Tom Brady to go, man. I don't hear nothing about switching coaches. We talking about a guy who is
it matters though. It does matter.
Whose whole Iron Man, Superman, I'm the GOAT status comes from I can play and win with anybody. Is that not right? Name the best wide receiver he ever had in his entire career.
Randy Moss.
And the next best person after that was who? Chad Johnson, who never even touched the field. He can win with anybody. Didn't he have correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he have
in his prime he could.
Playing wide receiver?
Yep.
Yeah.
Troy Brown.
Come on, man. So I can't give him no pass with he didn't really have much around him. Really? Mike Evans?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not from that aspect. I'm just saying this year there was a lot of injuries and inconsistencies with that offense. And he didn't have a security blanket in Gronk. So I mean, that was some adjustments that if he had that, I feel like it would have been a different season for him. But at the end of the day, I mean, the man is 45, been playing 23 years, man. I mean, if you want to sit it down,
lay it down.
If you want to sit it down, I support that. But I mean, there are some teams out there that's got some shaky quarterback situations that could use him for like a 1-year rental. You know what I'm saying? If that's
San
what it
Fran,
needs to be.
first one on the map.
Exactly. San Fran, it would be ideal for him. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind seeing him come back to play 1 year at San Fran. I like to see what he do in that offense. I mean, I think it's designed for something like him, especially going out. So, and they have a lot of quarterback issues. So,
I don't see that happening because Kyle Shanahan likes to run his quarterbacks, and we all know that even a 22-year-old Tom Brady, you wouldn't go see him running. And
hell no.
I don't see that happening.
And not only that, Juice, it forces back or it delays the progression of Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is the dude for that job.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be
I
that
don't
guy
think so.
too, man.
I don't think so.
I think Trey Lance finna get pushed finna get pushed back even further, man. That injury just opened the door for a whole nother guy to come in and solidify that spot.
Yeah. Well, Shanahan's a system, man. So, I think you can plug pretty much anybody in there and be successful with it. I'm still not 100% sold on Purdy yet. He's played great, but that injury that he's going to come back from is going to be a difficult one to come back from. So, we'll see what they do. But I think they still have some holes at quarterback this year coming up.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guess the man going to ride off into the sunset, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's had a wonderful career. So, at the end of the day, Tom Brady is saying enough is enough. I think I peeped the play. He got divorced. He got that $375 or $357 million contract waiting for him in the booth. So he got divorced first. That out the way. And then we're going to get on to that contract. I kid, ladies. I kid. We don't want to get censored. We can get censored and muted for stealing people's music and stuff like that if we're going down. We're going down in a flame of smoke other than, just kidding around with the Tom Brady situation. Got a little sports trivia. I like the hire to fire situation last week. So we're going to try a little something different, and then we're going to get on into some NBA talk and some bad decisions that African-American coaches keep making, and it's going to come back to bite them. But we're going to get on into that. So got a couple questions. I'm just going to put it out there. We're going to keep this thing funky. You know what I'm saying? We're going to switch it up. But again, this is the Just North Sports Show. You know where to catch us, where to find us. Audio available Friday nights, 8 p.m., YouTube channel, all that good stuff. So I'm going to put this one on out there. I'm going to go with Juice Man right off the rip.
Uh-oh.
Since he can't read defenses, according to last week's Eric Reed analogy, we're going to come right back at it. What NFL team was originally called the New York Titans? Was it A, the Tennessee Titans, the New York Giants, the New York Jets, or the Kansas City Chiefs?
I want to say the New York Giants.
That is incorrect. It is not the New York Giants. You're in the right location. You got the wrong team. It was actually the New York Jets.
Okay.
Actually, the New York Jets. You remember they were just putrid. Those ugly looking, like army green, doo-doo brown, yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the Titans.
Throwbacks.
Yeah, those were the Titans. That was their squad. That was their squad. So, yeah, it would actually happened. I think it was 63. They were originally called the Titans. 63. Sonny Worldman took over. He changed them to the Jets, and the rest is history. We know Joe Namath and what he did in 68. Called that shot and pulled that upset. Drake, former running back. I think this is right up your alley right here. Like, seriously, I think this is just right up your alley. Who was the first player in the NFL to rush for 1,000 yards in a single football season? Jim Brown, Betty Feathers, Joe Flashing Jet Perry, or Steve Van Buren? 1939 Philadelphia Eagles championship team.
Man, y'all know I ain't know his story. Hell, I wasn't even alive with none of these dudes.
Hey, we didn't ask you. We didn't ask you if you was alive and all that.
Answer the question.
Just answer the question. Yeah, we didn't ask you if you was alive and all that. We just wanted to know. None of us was alive.
I'm going with the last one you said.
Going with Joe Perry?
Yeah, Joe Perry.
That is incorrect. What about it, Big E? What you got?
I will say John Jett.
No, that is incorrect. It is not. It's not Joe the Jet Perry. I'm gonna guess, and I'm gonna go. It's not Jim Brown.
Well, damn, they go all answers.
That's all the answers right there.
Ain't nothing else to guess for.
I'm not gonna act like I know, but I'm gonna go with this Betty Feathers guy. just because I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is. And usually when you're doing stuff like this, it's probably so I'm gonna push this Betty Feathers guy. Sounds like an old gangster. That is it. That's absolutely correct. Betty Feathers of the Chicago Bears rushed for 1,004 yards in 1934. Remarkably, he did it in only 119 carries, King Dre, a whopping 8.4 yards per carry. That shatters all your little
Man,
high
that dude was
school.
running that field, man. It's
That
almost
shatters
like first
first
down.
down every time he got the ball. That
For
shatters
real.
all your little high school records and stuff like that.
Listen here. The key to success, people out there, if y'all watching and listening, is H2O. Put plenty
All
of this in
right.
your body and you'll be all right.
So we're gonna keep this one pushing. I got one right here. And this answer actually kind of surprised me when I saw it, but I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe it just I know why now that I sit back and I think about it, but yeah. Big E, this is right up your alley, man. We're gonna kind of keep this thing kind of simple right here. So who holds the best rookie passer rating in NFL history? Dan Marino, Robert Griffin, Tom Brady, or Dak Prescott?
Ooh.
You said best rookie passer rating?
Yes, in NFL history.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say it's Dak, man. I'm gonna say it's Dak.
That is absolutely correct. Right up his alley.
Wow.
It's actually Dak Prescott. And when you think of all the greats, you think Patrick Mahomes, Dan Marino, what he did in '84, Dan Fouts, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, of course. It's actually Dak Prescott. His rookie season, he finished it with a passer rating of 104.9. And he broke the record set by Robert Griffin III of 102.4, set in 2012. And that just goes to show you how the game has evolved. That could be an excellent segue into our NBA section, old school versus new school, the in and out era, which we grew up in with the centers compared to today's space and pace. But something's on my mind. And I gotta let it out. I was talking with Big Kofi today. I've been seeing a lot of Houston Texan fans that are very, very ecstatic that D'Amico Ryans is accepting that job in Houston. I'm disappointed, number one, just because I'm a fan of D'Amico Ryans and I'm a fan of what he was able to do with the San Francisco 49ers defense. And considering how they ran out of cars, they ran out of ammo against Philadelphia, I think I wanted to see him run it back. And let's see if we can catch. Let's see if they can catch Philly next year and see what it is. And I think he deserves that. You know, I think he kind of went out with a water pistol. But another reason I'm disappointed is because the powers that be are running the same play over and over and over and over again. And I get it. Everybody wants to show that they're the best, and they want to show that they can be basically leaders of men. But it's the same dog and pony show. Hell, Tony Dungy didn't even get a fair shot. We saw what he did with Tampa Bay, and we saw the play. And Gruden came in, changed a few plays, left the defense totally alone, from what I understand. Goes up against the Raiders. He knows the Raiders inside and out, and they dog walked the Raiders in the Super Bowl. Jim Caldwell, I think, was this 2004, 2005, somewhere off in there. Lions' first winning season since the Wayne Fonts, Barry Sanders 1992-1993 Detroit version. Goes 10-6, wins a wild card game. They fire him the next year because he wasn't able to take them to a Super Bowl. It's the freaking Lions, for crying out loud. D'Amico Ryans is going to go to Houston with a running back, a very, very good running back, a very, very good young running back. D'Amico is a defensive coach. I'm not a gambling man, but if I want to put any money on it, D'Amico is going to get a quarterback. Probably not going to spend a whole lot of money on free agency. Texas got a lot of money. And he'll begin to put together the core of the team. Good offensive line, so Pierce has more rooms to run. And he's already said, hey, we're coming out with stopping teams. And I can honestly see D'Amico Ryans having that Houston team top 10 defense within a year or two. And just by default, they may win a couple games. And they may actually get into the playoffs. But when he get stuck at that wild card or get stuck at that divisional round, they'll fire him. And they'll bring in somebody like Kellen Moore. Or they'll bring in somebody like Lincoln Riley, who they've been grooming for the NFL for the last 5 years because every single quarterback he touches wins the Heisman. And they'll fire D'Amico. They see, we gave him a shot, but he couldn't get it done. And after all the mess has been cleaned up out the toilet, and the core and the nucleus of the team is put together, they'll bring in Kellen Moore or Cliff Kingsbury or Lincoln Riley and get a free agent wide receiver like Justin Jefferson. You see the play? Mm-hmm. And all will be well in Houston. And it's the same play over and over and over and over again. And he'll just be another brother on the sideline as a defensive coordinator. And that's where he'll stay. That's my take on it. I ain't got nothing to say about it. I'm going to leave it alone.
Man. You could be right, Doc. I mean, we've seen this over and over, and it's just it's unfortunate, and it seems so unfair, man. Like, these black coaches work so hard to get to this level and to this, you know what I'm saying? And I just wish things would, somehow change where black coaches are giving the same amount of opportunities as these young white, offensive minded coaches. I mean, I don't know what black coaches are supposed to do. I mean, not everybody is Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's fortunate to be with an organization that has been so solid for so long. There's never any turmoil, or there's no drama in the front office. And I think that's why Tomlin has been able to sustain his career this long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think if Tomlin would have been anywhere else, he probably would have been fired by now. I mean, he did get a Super Bowl in 2008, but he's been there. He's going on year 20. And that's just due to the fact that the Steelers, they just don't play coaching carousel. So Tomlin could very well stay there another 10 years and win another Super Bowl. Right. And he can stay there forever. I mean, Cowher got his and was just like, I'm tired. I'm going. You see what I'm saying? They've had 3 coaches in 75 years. So if you get hired by the Steelers, that's job security. But other than that,
right.
I mean, look at Jim Caldwell. Like I said, look at Tony Dungy. Look at Leslie Frazier. Look at Lovie Smith. And they talking about he lost the locker room. Hell, he didn't have a locker room down there to lose. Mm-hmm. Who's the leader? Who's the leader down there? Davis Mills?
Right.
Who's the guy that Lovie Smith was supposed to say, hey, this is the vision of the team. I need you to be I need you to be in my hip pocket. I need to talk to you to get my message to the team. There was no locker room to lose, and they ran him out. And like I said, the writing was on the wall. The flag was red to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got rid of O'Brien, and you had all this racist stuff going on in the front office, and you had Lovie Smith just sitting there, and you passed him over and over and over. And then after you get exposed to being racist, it's like, okay, brother, here you go. And then it's not good enough, and you got to go. So I'm wishing D'Amico the best. I just see the play, and he got a 6-year contract. I think I was talking to King Dre. He got 6 years. Say, bro, it's win or losses, and you got a shorter lease. So if you ain't in the AFC Championship within 4, maybe 3, man, you got to go, man.
Greasy the Don saying 2.
And I don't see that happening in Houston just because there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Nothing at all.
Yeah. What you got, Big E?
Man, I mean, everything that you spoke on, Doc, is true. I can't shake a stick at any of that. but it's not going to change until they allow for ownership to change. That's when the opportunities are really going to start happening. So at the end of the day, I mean, I can't be mad at D'Amico for taking the opportunity. It's unfortunate that it's the same old Ferris wheel, but he went in making some different, with a different approach. I haven't seen too many of them get locked into a 6-year contract for one. So I think he was smart to do that because that guarantee he's got income for the next 6 years regardless. They can't just fire him after 1 year. So he made that step, and I think that was definitely a step in the right direction. Also, he played for the organization for 6 years. I think that's going to be something that helps him kind of weather the storm, if you will, a little bit. At the end of the day, I know he does have the respect of the city, and he was a baller when he was there. So I think there's a lot of people that are hyped, and because he was around during some of the Texans' what glory years they've had, he was a part of that defense. So, I'm cautiously optimistic about the hire. I know it's. We already know how the scenario can play out, but I want to look at it on the other side and say, okay, he's got the number 2 pick. If you go ahead and grab a quarterback, he can bring in an offensive coordinator to work with that quarterback to get the offensive side of the ball. I think he needs to get an experienced offensive coordinator. I mean, I would even be open to something like a Leftwich or something like that. Bring him in, but I mean, that might be a little bit too much color for the Texans organization.
Yeah.
So. But I think he can bring somebody in like that to work with Stroud. They got cap space to make a move at receiver. They might not get a top tier, like, bringing back Hopkins or something like that, because, he don't want to have any parts of it. But they might be able to land somebody that, I won't say is necessarily comparable, but can make some plays, And they could potentially re-sign Brandon Cooks, even though I thought he really wanted to get out there, but the head coaching change might be something that he might be willing to stay around. And that's a 1,000-yard receiver every year. You got a quarterback that can get him the ball. So I think if you can put enough weapons with that running game that they have to keep that offensive line intact, I think he can turn the program around in 2 years. It might even be a playoff team in the first year. But you still got that hurdle, like you said, Doc. If you can't get past such and such, then how long are you going to stay? So at the end of the day, man, go get your money. Go get your money and take this opportunity. It could work out for the best, and that's what I'm hoping for him.
Absolutely. That's a good move, though. That's a good point. Good point, Big E. At the end of the day, he's locked in, getting paid for 6 years, and they paying these coaches crazy money. They paying these coaches so much money. The league executives sent out emails to the organization saying, you got to stop hiring these coaches and signing them to multi-million-dollar contracts and firing them after 2 years and eating all their money. That's bad when you sign up a dude, give him $100 million contract, and he don't make it to, and you on the hook for $80 million, and you just got to eat it. That's bad business, though. Big ups to D'Amico for getting that bread locked in, and we wish him the best. He was a good linebacker in Houston, and he's shown that not only did he just take over a talented San Francisco roster, he made them better because it was him, that had the, mold and build Tafanga and Thomas, Ambry Thomas, the young cornerback from Michigan, dealing with some injuries. But Thomas was a key role in last year's run to the NFC Championship. And he was turning into a solid corner. He got hurt. So you can see some of the places that D'Amico has left his imprint. But
he's a culture guy.
Yeah, he's a culture guy.
So.
We wish him the best down there. I got Denver going 15-2 next year, and they're going to the AFC Championship. I'm not trying to hear nothing, nobody. They got Sean Payton, and it's over with Patrick Mahomes. I got Denver going 15-2 next year.
Hey, Doc. That's how we feel about that. 15-2. The hell wrong with this guy? 15-2.
Oh man.
You really think Sean? He really thinks Sean? You really hold on? Let me hit him. Let me bring him back on. You really think Sean Payton gonna come in and do all that?
Nah, I just like to pick up. I like to pick up Sean Payton. He's a good coach. I'm thinking you can't guard Mike. Michael Thomas is going to follow him. He left the Saints. but we haven't seen Michael Thomas in 2 years. So the Michael Thomas with 125 catches, I think that dude is long gone. But I mean, you get him on the low because he wants to play with Sean Payton, and you go to a more of a quick passing game with Russell Wilson. On you put him in the receiver, and like I said, you got Judy, and then you got Cortland Sutton, then you got the tight end. You can work with something. And Sean's a pretty good offensive coach. They lost a little bit on the defense, but it wasn't like it was an orange crush with DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. Nothing that they could probably retool and rebuild to make them compete a little bit more, solid, and maybe try to give Kansas City a little run for their money. But that's neither here nor there. But I like that pickup by Denver. It don't seem like they gave too much. And the cupboards, it's not empty. And Sean Payton's a good coach. He's not Belichick, but
he's a good coach.
And the
cupboards are not empty. But we saw Russell Wilson, man. We saw what that is, man. We've been seeing who Russell Wilson is.
Yeah, but I think that was more on hack.
I ain't gonna say he's not. I'm not gonna say he's a good. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's just not that dude, though, man.
I think
you, Dre. See, I'm listening. I feel like Dre 8-9. They ain't finna come out and do all that, bro.
I think last year was more on Hackett than it was.
Oh man, no. Russell Wilson is the one pulling the trigger, man.
Maybe it was a combination.
It's just like Big E said about his Cowboys. And my boy De La Rosa, shout out to Jason De La Rosa, man. He said it right. Dak out here putting the ball where it's supposed to be. These dudes not catching it. Or Dak is making the bonehead decision to throw the ball deep when you had another guy short. Or Dak is making a wrong read. It's on the quarterback, bro. He called the play. You made the wrong read. And we watched Russell Wilson play terrible all season.
All right, Dre, can it be both, though? Can you have a coach that is in over his head and a quarterback that's,
Do you think Sean Payton is in over his head?
No. I'm saying Nathaniel Hackett didn't know what he was doing, but then you also have a quarterback that, let's just face it, he's lost a step, and he's not the same.
So this is maybe it's both. Some of y'all listen. For all you listeners, I'm always coming with that power,
My boy Dre Lindell.
Yeah, I'm feeling Dre, man. 8-9, man. Boys,
he said 8-9, and then when he said 15-2, he started laughing. He was a big time Kansas City Chiefs fan. Congratulations on the AFC Championship. Shout out to my brother Brandon Smith, top contributor with the Just North Sports Show. So got Brandon team and Dre team going at it. So I'm gonna sit this one out, man. We don't want to give y'all. I don't want to give y'all all the ammunition on what I think is gonna go down because it's not this Sunday, but we got next Sunday. But I'm gonna dig a little bit deep into that and see what's going down, man.
Let me answer Juice right quick, Doc.
Shout out to them real quick, man.
But Juice, this is what I think, man. If I'm better than you, I'm just better than you, man. Like I can tell you I'm about to run sweep left. You still got to stop it. And if you don't have the weapons to stop my sweep left, it's a wrap.
Drake, we've already had this.
It don't matter what play call and the coach made. The man still has to run and execute the play. The offensive line got to block. The receivers got to run their route. If that
we had this conversation on basketball,
that's on him.
Nah, we've already had this conversation, Dre. We're not finna go there with you. Just because you're better than somebody and you're bigger, stronger, and faster than somebody, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to beat them. No,
that's not what I'm saying. This is pertaining to what Juice is asking me. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, Russell Wilson is in control. He got the ball every snap. He's making the reads. He's tossing the ball. He's doing it all. So at the end of the day, if he out there making the wrong read, that's on him. If he threw right and he should have threw left, if he threw deep and he should have threw shallow, that's on Russell Wilson. It's this much is the quarterback. I mean, is the coach. That much is the man that's actually executing the play.
I'm a safe.
If it's a passing play, it's on the court. It's on the quarterback. He's the one got to pull the trigger. He's got to pull the trigger. So, hey, do I force this into double coverage or do I just throw the damn ball out of bounds?
I say it's 50-50 because why do you think some old coordinators like Kellen Moore gets fired? Why do you think some head coaches like Lovie Smith get fired? It's a 50-50 thing. It's not all on the quarterback.
60-40.
Nah.
I'm gonna say it like
I
this.
only say that because the quarterback is in control of the play.
I'm gonna say it like this,
That shit's
and
true.
I'm gonna say it like this. And this was
Coach ain't throwing the pass.
this is a quote from probably I think he's top 2-3 coach ever. And it's Jimmy Johnson. He said, "Give me the horses all day." He's only as smart as what he's got on the field. Jimmy Johnson basically was saying, "I couldn't have done what I did at the University of Miami at TCU." So if it's Russell Wilson out there and he ain't got no offensive line, Russell Wilson gonna look pretty bad.
And
Does Joe Burrow have
Johnny
an offensive
Unitas
line?
playing quarterback.
Does
And
Joe
on
Burrow
the
have an offensive line?
no, but he's got 3 number 1 wide receivers. 3 of
He
them.
don't have an offensive line still. He's still finding a way to get it done.
And he got
And
Joe
a tight
Mixon.
end.
And he got Joe Mixon, and he got a good
with
tight end.
no
So
offensive line though. That's
So
what we're
if you-
talking about.
But the
So
thing,
if you got
he got away with all season.
if you got 3 number 1, if you got
the O-line.
if you got 3 number 1 wide receivers, it's only so long you got to hold on to the ball.
That's true.
And coverage and the defensive and your offensive sets are going to dictate that. It's a lot of times Cincinnati could just go 31, and just because of the simple fact they had a top 5 back in the AFC and Mixon and got 3 number 1 wide receivers. Well, you can't come out there in a 43 base. That's a 15-yard slant all day long. So just so that means you can't get your best pass rushers on the field. Not all 4 of them up front. You got to go to a quarters, which means you probably got 2 good pass rushers. So that it matters. It matters. So I mean, yeah, Cincinnati didn't have a great offensive line, but Burrow didn't necessarily have to hold on to the ball as long as Wilson. And Burrow's been in that system, going on 3 years. And I got to admit, Greasy was on point. It was too much. It was too much for Wilson to learn. It was a whole new offense, all that good stuff. And maybe Nathaniel Hackett just wasn't. He just wasn't that dude. Maybe he got gifted something too early.
That's what I think.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna see how that turn out. But I'm all in on Sean Payton. I guess as the football season comes back around after the draft and after all that, I'll make another outlandish
We see 15-2. You definitely are the way you
about the NFL. Well, I mean, the NFL is it. I mean, it's gonna be over. I mean, we got next week's game, Super Bowl. Like I said, we're gonna jump into that show next week. That's gonna be a good show, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in. We're gonna get into some analytics and see what's going down, and we're gonna get into some picks and all that good stuff. Chopping it up with Big E today. We'll talk a little NBA, man. And it's reheated soup, but it's like never get really tired of it. And I'm from the old school, and we got this new space and pace era, and it's kind of a continuation of last week's episode where we kind of left off, and somebody posed a question. Juice Man posed a question. Well, if Shaq was drafted in today's era, do you think he would be as dominant as he was in Orlando with the Lakers? I said no, because there'd be some geek upstairs would be like, let's put him in pick and roll. And I've had this conversation with King Drake. Like the first center that comes out of college or comes out of high school said, nope, I'm not going out there like Joker. Nope, I'm not going out there like Embiid. I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to try to tear the glass, the stanchion down, the board down every single time until you get this 6'9" strong power forward off of me. I'm going to give you 40 and 30 every night, and it's going to change the game. Now you're going to have to draft. Now you're going to have to start drafting the
additional centers.
The additional centers to stop him and somebody that can make him work on defense, and the game will change. So I'm not too concerned about it. I'm a traditionalist. I think if you play, I think basketball is a game about its buckets, and it's controlling the offensive glass and the defensive glass. All defensive possessions end with a defensive rebound, not the stop, not the missed shot. It's grabbing the rebound. Offensive sets, they continue with a offensive rebound. So if you give me a Shaq, if you give me a Wilt, if you give me a Elijah Wan, if you give me a Kareem, I can go from there, and you can have all the Steph Currys and the Ray Allens and the Klay Thompsons, and you can shoot 43s a game. But if I got a defensive rebounding power forward like a Rodman or Oakley, and I got a center that I'm either gonna throw it in the post and I'm gonna get a foul, or he's gonna go to the line, or I'm gonna get a bucket in the foul. I can work with the rest. I can find a Jason Kidd. I can find just a shooter. Somebody that just he's not interested in anything else but shooting the ball. You got one job: catch this ball and shoot it. A Kyle Korver or a Craig Hodges, and give me somebody like a Kawhi Leonard, you know, or Kobe Bryant. You see what I'm saying? Somebody that I can throw to on the wing and get a bucket. I got a pretty good chance of beating you because I control the glass. And the space and pace is cute and it's fun. And I think, like we were saying last week's show, when the Warriors
bro.
when the Warriors won it, at first it was like, yeah, the Warriors are the exception, not the rule. But then they got KD, and then they dropped bombs on everybody, and that's when everybody went 3-point crazy. It's a bad product. The NBA is a bad product. Outside of LeBron breaking Kareem's record, we don't know who's going to do what in the West. The Lakers are still a very, very dangerous team as far as I'm concerned. And Boston then lost 3 or 4 games in a row. And the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks is all within a game and a half of them. It's a bad product. They're not even playing hard. So I'm watching it, but I got to admit, basketball they kind of lost me, and I hate to say it. I'm more interested in college right now.
Yeah, I mean, y'all know how I feel, man. It's a terrible product. Nobody wants. Well, apparently, people do want to see people just run up and down the court and jack threes all day. You know, looking at scores 145 to 132. It's terrible, man. And you know, like my example that I gave you guys is when Giannis decided he was going to play in the paint. What happened? It was game time. It's a wrap. The same thing I say about Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis take his behind down in that paint, who in the hell is going to stop him? Who going to stop him? Nope. He want to be the pretty boy out here shooting threes. Him and Embiid, they want to go out there and shoot threes. Embiid is I would say personally, he's hands down the best center in the NBA. Period. Embiid's the best center in the NBA, bro. Best center in the NBA. If you got somebody else that's better, let me hear about it. Yes, said the big man is lost art because everybody want to jack threes. And this bunch of bullcrap basketball is unfundamental. There's no fundamentals in today's game. Zero fundamentals. Nobody has a mid-range game. Hell, people are out here shooting 30%, 25% from three. And people are, yeah, keep shooting. Are you smoking crack? Keep shooting, huh? I shoot 25% from three, but I'm gonna shoot 23s a game, and I'm shooting 25%. No way in hell. I take them odds. If the geeks are right, keep shooting the three. I'm like, Doc, go ahead. Keep shooting the three. You shoot 25%. I'm gonna keep shooting this high percentage shot right here at the goal. I'm gonna go 90%, and I'm gonna score 40, 50 points a game on the inside. Because it's a terrible product, man. And you know, the NBA need to get a grip with it. They need to do something about it. And, you know, opening up the G League and inviting the players to come from college after 2 years, or is it 3?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't
you know, one thing I found interesting was during the Warriors' reign of terror on the league. You know why the Warriors beat a lot of teams? The offensive rebound. It was the second 3-point shot. It was the second 3-point shot that you knew, okay, Curry missed this one, but Durant finna make this one. Or Clay missed it, but Steph finna make this one. Or Durant missed it, but okay, Draymond, Vince, somebody, it was the second one. And so I have a hard time believing that let's give me a good defensive front line like the Pistons, 2004 Pistons with Ben and the Wallace boys. So yeah, Curry and Clay, like individual shooter for shooter, big shot and rip, don't have nothing for them. But they're not going to get that second and that third shot. No, it's one and done, baby.
Well, what changes that is the defense, bro.
Yeah, you better make it.
I'm playing defense on you. How in the hell you going to get these shots?
You better make it.
You ain't shooting 23s a game if I'm playing
defense. Make it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like you better make it. You better make it. If you're the Warriors and you, like I said, you got Steph and you got Clay and you got a team full of shooters against a good defensive team, especially a good defensive team with a rebounding center and a rebounding power forward. You got to make that, bro. Said Lewis back again. All the big men want to be guards. Nothing wrong with knowing how to handle the ball, but you're a damn center, not a guard. Now back to the basket you go. Yeah,
Hey,
no back
that's
to the
that's where they need to be at.
Right.
They need to get their ass in that paint and go to work. Go to work, man. But for some reason, America has fallen in love with that 3-point shot, that running. Listen, the NBA is basically D'Antoni basketball. That's what they
Chicks
want.
love the long ball.
Hey King, I got a question for you. Hey King,
Ask away, man.
so when you're coaching kids and you have a kid that's taller than everybody on their team, like are you teaching them, you know what I'm saying, to use their size and
Great
try to
question.
dominate down low, and are they
All
listening?
right.
Like what are coaches telling these kids, like how to play the game,
I can't
down
speak
low?
for anybody. I can't speak for anybody but me. And I will give you a perfect example. I had a young man named Rodney Johnson. He was one of the biggest kids on my team. And guess where I put him at?
Man, why you gonna be on here name dropping, man?
Hey, because this
name
is
dropping.
he asked me a real question. I'm giving him a real
You
answer.
don't name drop. Just say I had a kid.
Rodney Johnson, young man, he's playing college basketball right now at Weatherford. He was like 6'3", 6'4", big kid. And I said, hey man, I'm gonna use you in the paint a little bit because you're a little bigger and stronger than some of the other kids. But guess what? I need you to work on your handles. I need you to work on a jump shot. You know why? Because you're only about 6'3", about 6'4", and you're not gonna be in the paint when you go to college, bro. You're not gonna be there. So you need to work on your handles. You need to work on a jump shot. That's what you need to do. Yes, I played him in the paint. I also played him at the 3. I also let him dribble the ball some down the court. You know why? Because he ain't gonna be 6'10". So yeah, that's what I did for sure. I made sure I let him, I let him know you need to work on a jump shot. You need to work on your handles because at the end of the day, 6'4", you ain't gonna be a center, buddy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Shaq
I have
averaged 50 points in today's game, says Cedric Lewis. Okay, I would say this, Sid. The Orlando Magic Shaq probably would. The Lakers Shaq with the 3 chips probably would. But I'd probably say by that after that second chip, it would probably decline because the game is really just up and down, up and down, up and down, up. Now, how fast is Shaq gonna get up and down, up and down, up and down? Because that's all they're doing is run down the court, shoot a 3, come back, pass, shoot a 3. So that would be my only concern about Shaq because he did get bigger. So him getting up and down that court a whole bunch. Hell, by the time he coming down to play defense, hell, they coming back with the ball.
Yeah,
whole bunch of snowbirds.
I just missed it. I missed the game where it was played inside out. Like I think about those Houston Rocket teams, and as dominant as Olajuwon was, and he was great. He was the greatest. He had
Hold on.
snipers. He had
Oh, man,
Hold on, Juice.
he had
that Lakers fan ain't gonna let you say that.
he
We're
had
not gonna do this tonight.
he had he had
Doc,
snipers
who is the
around him.
greatest big man?
What?
Doc, who is the greatest big man?
That's Kareem. Yeah.
Thank you. Man, you better not call Olajuwon the greatest.
Yeah.
Get on out
Okay,
of
he
here.
was great. All right, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Y'all know how I feel about these Lakers. Y'all ain't gonna do me
But
like
you hear what I'm saying? Like he had snipers around him, and they were able to shoot threes too. But I'm just saying, I miss it how the
I
game
get
was
you.
played then. Like you don't see that now, where they they give it to the big guy down low. He gets doubled and looks for a shooter. You just don't see that now, and I just don't like it.
I hear you. I hear all y'all. I mean, I think all y'all raised valid points. So it is a bad product for traditional basketball fans. If you have a passion for what the game used to be, this game isn't necessarily for you anymore. You know what I mean? So what you have to, because I get into this debate all the time when people talk about 90s basketball, they talk about MJ's era and all that and so on and so on. To me, it was good basketball for back then because that's what we knew. But I think for now, I kind of lean more. I lean more towards what we see now. My favorite era was like Kobe's era. You know what I'm saying? From like I'd say from about 2000 to like 2012. That was probably my favorite era of basketball.
But BD, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So you know everything happens generationally, right?
Yeah.
So this is our kids' brand of basketball.
Right.
So when we were our kids' age, in the 80s and mid 80s to 90s, what was our parents' brand of basketball? Because our parents, like our fathers, saw Michael Jordan, they saw Magic. So what was their brand of basketball? Because I didn't see them saying all this dunking and the flashy play of Magic was bad basketball. It was a bad product. You see what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
So what was their, generation? Because
their generation was that same generation. You gotta think it's the game has evolved, and before the game evolved to what it is now, it wasn't that popular for a long time. Magic and Bird really saved the NBA, right? Then you had MJ come after that. That saved the NBA because they didn't know what was going to pivot after Magic and Bird until Jordan became Jordan, right? But after Jordan, the whole I want to be like Mike phenomenon, players started playing more like Jordan. And you started trending away from big man basketball. You saw people coming into the league like Tony Kukoc. You had Grant Hill, 6'8", 6'9", having bringing the ball up court. It just transitioned, and then that built the brand. When it really started changing was when they did the Dream Team in 1992.
Yeah.
That made people that opened their eyes to the best of American basketball, and that made it a global brand. So. But the global, on the other side of the globe, they don't play physical like that down in the paint. It's a finesse game. So if you're talking about expanding and making the brand bigger to where players can get paid $250 million for 2 years, 3 years, and really get taken care of, unlike the previous eras where they were, 10-year deal, 1.5 million type numbers. You know what I'm saying? This is a better brand of basketball for that. As far as making it a more global brand where players can be more empowered, they can have more monetary gain from their contribution to the sport.
That's
what it's about. That's what it's about.
Money.
It's business.
It's not about the product. The product on the court is terrible.
It is. It's very terrible.
Terrible. The product is trash.
Since
I'm like trash.
Since we got this wide open game, and I know people love points, and Sid want to know how many points would Jordan average today. I think Jordan would probably be about 2 points above his average.
I would say 45 plus.
Man, come on now.
I'm not gonna say that now, Brady.
45 plus.
Let's not get ridiculous, man.
He wasn't a good outside shooter. He wasn't a good outside shooter.
You can't touch guys now.
When
Jordan played, he got beat up, right?
From the outside.
They tried to beat him every time he go to the paint. You can't do that now.
Breezy's making an excellent point. The game is played from the outside now. Jordan made majority of his points from mid-range and going to the goal. He was not a devastating three-point shooter.
I know that, but he didn't have to shoot threes.
In today's
nobody
game,
was shooting threes then.
In today's game, Jordan would be forced to shoot more threes.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
I would say Jordan would be. Here's the thing about it. Jordan was the only man that averaged 30 points a game in 19. Crying out loud. There's 6 people in the NBA right now that average 30 points a game, Juice. It's a different game. And when you bring these facts up to people that say Jordan is the GOAT, which they're entitled to their opinion, it's like you're dissing Michael Jordan. No, we're not dissing Michael Jordan. It's just that
There is one player who will average 45 points a night.
There's a Devin Booker, there's a Dame Lillard, there's a Kawhi Leonard, there's a LeBron James, there's a Kobe Bryant, and this is like
KD
every other night. You see what I'm saying? When all he had to do was worry about was Clyde Drexler and Dominique Wilkins, and they weren't really even on this level. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the level of competition. It just gets better, especially out there. I think Jordan would do his thing. Jordan is Jordan. We know what Jordan is.
The level of competition is better, or is the offensive juggernaut better?
Okay. I think the skill set of the overall player is better.
I don't think the competition is better.
I think it is.
Yes.
I think
they're more of a physical.
So are you saying that scoring is better, so that makes it more competitive?
No, I'm saying that they're better. The competition at the 2 and 3 guard position is better than it was in 1993.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, I'll take
it. Now Deion says though he didn't shoot threes, he could still shoot threes. But Deion,
he could,
but not on a consistent level.
That wasn't his game.
That wasn't his game.
He wasn't asked to shoot 9 3-pointers a game, 10 3-pointers a game.
I think he would have struggled in today. Yeah. The only person I don't think would have struggled, and I know y'all gonna hate me for saying this, is Kobe Bryant. Because Kobe Bryant can shoot from the outside.
Right.
Or he can take you in.
Allen Iverson ain't struggling.
Yeah. We're not saying he could shoot him. We're not saying Jordan. We're not saying Jordan's going to go out there and become brick mania, people. That's not what we're saying at all. We're saying the majority of Michael Jordan's points came from the mid-range. That's where Jordan would bust you, like really serious.
The game went over Cleveland. Where was it?
From 15 to like 17, Jordan would,
The game went over Utah. Where was
it? That's why I think he would thrive, because at the end of the day, none of these kids shoot the mid-range. Everybody's shooting the 3.
Where was the game winner against Utah in the final?
If Michael Jordan came out of the NBA draft today, you know the first thing they would tell him? Get in the gym and start shooting threes. They're not coaching the mid-range game. No matter how good you can shoot it, they're not teaching that art anymore. That's like the center that comes out that has all the skills of a Hakeem Olajuwon. You know what they're going to do? They're going to put him learn how to catch the ball. They got here and shoot some threes.
Run the floor.
It's just a different game. It's just a different game. Like
it's D'Antoni basketball.
Yeah, it's D'Antoni basketball.
Whether we want to admit it or not, D'Antoni changed the game with this run and gun. And really what happened was he laid the foundation of playing this way. He couldn't get it done. Then here comes Steph Curry and Clay. And
honestly speaking, that D'Antoni style of basketball has actually been around since the 50s and 60s with the Celtics. That's actually Bob Cousy and Don. That's actually Don Nelson. And Don Nelson learned it.
Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, that's actually Don Nelson. And Don Nelson was a Celtic.
GMC back in the day.
Yeah, that's actually that's actually Cousy. That's actually Red Auerbach, honestly. Nelson was a Celtic. He took it to Golden State TMC. D'Antoni picked it up with that Italian playing the ball, went to Phoenix, and here we are.
Who was the coach of the Nuggets when they set that scoring rate? That's all they did was jack threes.
Yeah, Issel. Issel.
Yeah.
It was Issel.
There you go.
It was Issel. Yeah. So it's a different game now, but like I agree with what you're saying, Big E. If you're a basketball traditionalist, like the age we came up on, inside out, it's not for you. You see what I'm saying? You might want to see a little bit something different. That's the point. That's a point that I can't knock. I do see that the player, there's a smarter player now, and that they realize that they're all a brand. So I do have to give props to Michael Jordan. What he did make him realize was that you're walking around here, you're worth really honestly you're really worth $50 million a year. Don't let them try to do whatever. So and we give Kawhi Leonard all this and all that, but Kawhi Leonard's doing it very, very smart. He's going to stay around as long as he can and collect as many checks as he can, because if he go out there to try to prove a point, he'll be gone out the league in 2 years. And Grant Hill had no business playing basketball in 1998 against Chicago Bulls on a broken foot. They wouldn't have beat them Bulls anyway. He should have sat down a long time ago. Speaking of Grant Hill, I like the fact that he crossed Scottie Pippen over and dunked on him.
So that being said, going back to the 90s, Kenny Smith comes out and says if Jordan would have played them 2 years, the Rockets still would have won.
He would have.
Kenny, I don't know what you're drinking.
They would have.
Smoking.
They
might have won. I'm gonna give at least one.
I give him one.
I give him one, but I'd be damned if you was gonna get back to back.
I give him one. And I say it all the time. I say it all the time. I think that 93 team would have beat him. I think that 93
times in with a hell no. Are you saying Dion? Are you saying hell no in regards to might not win it too, or Houston would have still won the two? What do you say? Would they still would have had the two, or they wouldn't have won none, or they got one? What's going on?
I think the Rockets would have got him one. I ain't no disrespect Mike like that, but
I'm a disrespecter. The Rockets would have got both of them.
But I am gonna say this.
They have no answer.
They barely beat.
No answer for Drake.
They barely beat the Knicks.
They
barely beat the Knicks.
And you know the funny, I'm glad Greasy said. I'm glad Greasy brought that point up because
Houston would have gotten.
If you talk to most Bulls fans or Jordan fans, because let's just be honest, you boys weren't Bulls fans. I ain't trying to hit it. You go tell somebody else. You boys weren't Bulls fans, and I ain't seen you do same boys that and you same boys that was running around with Michael Jordan jerseys on and stuff. I ain't seen you with no Derrick Rose. You ain't got no DeMar DeRozan jersey.
I wasn't no Bulls fan. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed.
You boys running around here talking about y'all Mavericks and Spurs fans. Get out of here, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. He's
talking to the audience because I was about to say he know who my player. You know who my favorite player the Grant Hill situation.
You boys ain't got no Zach LaVine jerseys. You ain't have no Eddie Curry jerseys. You ain't have no.
What's my boy from College Station?
Already, Dion.
You ain't have no Carlos Boozer jersey. You ain't have no Jimmy. You ain't have no Jimmy. You ain't have no Jimmy Butler jersey.
Now for the Bulls.
So I ain't trying to hear that. But now I ain't no disrespect. Yeah, I ain't no disrespect Mike like that, man.
Conversation, Alex Caruso.
I ain't no disrespect Mike like that, man. Mike would have got him one, but I did hear Mike say this, and this came out his own mouth, that I'm glad we did not have to face Houston because we had no answer for the dream.
That's Michael. Check this out.
That's Mike. That's coming out of Michael Jeffrey Jordan's own mouth. Now, so y'all take that. Y'all take that with however y'all want to take it.
Time out. I will say this. I spoke. Y'all check the Facebook. You see the picture with me and Max with. I spoke to Mad Max. And he doubled down with what Kenny said. Man, he shut Mike ass down. Period.
All day.
Maxwell told me Mike couldn't do nothing. Nothing. He said he wasn't even that hard to him. So now what?
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it would have worked because they had Max, they had Ellie, they had Smith, they had a rotation of players that could throw to him that are deep, that play defense. You know what I mean? So he would have to switch his game up, which he's more than capable of doing. I'm not saying that he ain't because it's MJ, but I'm just saying he would have had to work a lot harder, and they did not have a solid answer for Hakeem.
Big E, now you know I hate the Rockets. I've been hating the Rockets since '86.
Man, watch out.
You know why? That lucky ass shot they hit.
Hey man,
I've been hating the boys.
There go my boy Justin Rebar, man. He pulled in. He's a Denver Bronco fan, man. He said, "Y'all get ready because he said the greatest run in NFL history is about to come on. The NFL rest of the NFL, y'all grab your ankles. They didn't got Sean Payton, so
Denver lost their number one pick and they lost their
second round down. It's about to go down.
So Denver don't even have a number one. They go to New Orleans this year.
Yeah, they go to New Orleans.
Number two go to New Orleans next year.
But yeah,
They might trade him, and they might get Derek Carr. Being a Bronco uniform, I'd be mad as hell.
I can't put my hand on it. And as we get further and further in the basketball season, we will discuss more and more the nature of the game and just what we see as a storyline and shit. What is the storyline in the NBA this year besides LeBron breaking Kareem's
Who's
record?
the best team?
There isn't one.
They
Right
look
now.
all about Boston barely beat the Lakers on a blown call.
That ain't what I was about to say, man. The young man got to he's one of the youngest to get to 9,000 points.
Who?
Tatum. Talking about Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I mean,
you asked for a story. Do you a storyline?
That's got my point.
I mean, we can all talk about LeBron about to pass up everybody. I mean, he just passed up.
That's kind of the point I'm making. If you have to think that hard, or what is the real story of the NBA, there's probably not a storyline, or maybe they're just waiting to develop one. But
there's gonna be a storyline after All-Star.
Said Boston is the most complete team. I'm gonna have to agree.
I'm brother.
I'm gonna ride with Big E. They'll develop a storyline after LeBron breaks the record, after the All-Star game, after the Super Bowl. We'll see something come along. Maybe it's a trade that's gonna pop, and maybe it can shake this thing up. But
Phil Jackson said
it's been super like, okay, wake me up when the playoffs start. I'm really more interested in college ball, and before you know it, like I said, it's February now. Before you know it, we'll be looking at the Sweet 16. So I hope y'all ready.
King Dre, you will not be filling out 50 brackets talking about, well, I did do this, I did. Nah, bro, one bracket. One bracket this season, bro. We ain't gonna have you with 50 brackets. Then want to divert, talk about, well, on this one I had this tick. Nah, bro, it don't work that way.
We ain't going that route. We ain't going that route.
Matter of fact, we're gonna have a Just Noise sports show bracket.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick one team. You ain't gonna be with 30 brackets, bro.
Yeah.
One bracket.
And I'm still picking whatever brackets I want to pick on the side.
And all your brackets got what demise first round.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
We're gonna have to make that happen. We're gonna have to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, like I said, with this whole March Madness thing. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And we're gonna get into it next week, like I said, with the Super Bowl and all that stuff. I was talking to King Dre a little bit earlier, in case y'all missed like the rewind section and all that. I'm just kind of disappointed that the Eagles really didn't get a chance to play a real full-fledged 49ers team and give us the game that we should have had. That's the only thing I'm disappointed in. But nonetheless, the football season is over, and we about to slide up out this thing. It's the Just North Sports Show. Audio will be dropped Friday, so y'all don't forget to slide on over to all your podcast platforms and check us out, man. It's been a blast, man, for Doc, King Dre with his weight set back, and Breezy the Don, Deuce Man, the Boogie, Big E. We'll be back next week. We appreciate all the love. Y'all slide over to the YouTube channel, put that like some scrubs and some thumbs, and y'all subscribe to the channel, man. We'll holler.